Hi everybody, December 2023, the final month of the year of tea. A big shout out to the Lawrenceburg Public Library, the friends of, the patrons of, and you, the participating folks of our Year of Tea program. So thanks for registering and coming in and checking them out and hopefully going home and enjoying them. We've had a really wide variety, and just to recap, every single month that we've done tea, the Camellia sinensis plant that provides all true tea forms has been the main star. So from green tea to chai tea to black tea to every sort of tea that's been in your kit, including the Jasmine Pearls today, they all come from our Camellia sinensis shrub-like plant that provides us all forms of true tea. So Jasmine Pearls are different from jasmine green tea, and if you remember earlier in the year, probably springtime because it tastes so green and grassy, I'm sure we did it for spring, we had a jasmine green tea, but these are not the same. They are quite a bit different. Pearls are actually a whole green tea leaf plucked, so like the whole entire leaf, like you would kind of like maybe deadhead or pluck your tomato plants or bring up like suckers and pluck them and click them off. It's the entire full leaf. Or like a tobacco leaf, how you would cut and pick your whole entire tobacco leaf and keep it intact. Because the other thing about the pearls is that after they're plucked, the pluckers have to keep them intact. So they have to keep them from ripping or crumbling or falling apart or tearing. So these have been hand plucked and then they're quickly withered, and I think that happens pretty much as quickly as you pluck them, just like when you're out on a hike and you pick a flower or a little plant, and then by the end of it, it's already withered and kind of getting wilted. Then this is what's really amazing, is every single one of these pearls, every one, is all hand rolled. And when they're hand rolled, they've got the tea leaf in their hand, and remember, it's the entire leaf intact. It's a little bit withered because it's just started to wilt from being plucked. Then they take a little pinch of fresh picked jasmine flowers, and jasmine flowers grow in the same area that this type of tea grows in, so they're companion plants. They pick the flowers fresh because if not, they'll start to mold and wilt and get crumbly right away, so the jasmine flowers have to be freshly picked, and they're nested right inside of the tea leaf. And then at the tip of the tea leaf, all the way down, a human being, a real live person, rolls and pellets and kind of gums up the little pearls. And every little pearl has a jasmine flower nestled inside of it, wrapped and balled up by a human being. And this is what creates the delicate flavor and a very robust fragrance. So this is one of the more fragrant teas that we have, in the sense of that when you make it to steep and the balls, the pearls, I should say, start to unfurl or open up, you will get a huge release of fragrance of jasmine flower. So more so jasmine than tea, but you'll get a little bit of the undertone. But it'll fill a whole room or a whole kitchen with the robust fragrance. And the fragrance lends to the taste. So you know how you can kind of taste and smell things at the same time? The fragrance lends to this taste, and it's kind of like drinking a liquid flower or as much of a jasmine flavor as you could possibly have. It is a stronger jasmine flower, or flavor, I mean, from our jasmine green tea. And when you do this, you'll be able to realize what I mean. It's one of the most expensive, costly teas known to all tea drinkers and in the consumer market, not just at 7th Street Gifts. So that's one reason why we chose it for the December tea. We wanted to treat you to something really special and expensive. But it's probably almost right now about $10 an ounce. So it's very expensive. That would be $160 a pound. So if you think of that. And it would make sense that a human being had to pick each one, roll each one, then pick the fresh flowers. I mean, it's very labor intensive, and it's also a true art form in which these jasmine pearls are picked and plucked and made. It has to be done under exact circumstances, the perfect season, the perfect weather, the perfect time for the people. So it's more than just a food product. It's actually like consuming a piece of art. So it takes 10 pounds of jasmine flowers to scent and flavor a single pound of the green tea. So it's a 10-to-1 ratio. And when you pick a jasmine flower, they're very light, airy, and fluffy. They remind me a lot of our honeysuckle flowers that we would have here in the sense of how many you have to pick. So imagine like maybe a handful of honeysuckle flowers here at home would, I bet you would weigh grams, less than an ounce. So imagine how many honeysuckle flowers, just the blooms only, or any other really even house flower, that you would have to pick and pluck to weigh 10 pounds. 10 pounds of jasmine flowers is a lot. And the bags are like this big because they're so fluffy and airy and delicate. You can't like pack them in like 10 pounds of sugar or flour or even coffee or our chai tea. So it's a lot of effort, a lot of exotic, very hard to get ingredients, things that only grow in certain parts of the world and are only ready 1 or 2 times a year for harvesting. That's the other thing too. So again, every one of these jasmine pearls is hand rolled. It's so another thing that leads to their price and the expense is that the hand rolling. It's a tedious process. Not many people can do it either. It would not surprise me that in the next 50 to 60 years, true hand-rolled jasmine pearls are a thing of the past. We would talk about when we used to get them, because I just don't know how many more generations, no matter where we are on planet Earth, are going to continue to do this sort of work for much longer. So with that being said, these are really kind of sacred and special. So use them wisely. Use them when you're ready to enjoy them. When you have time to breathe in the aroma, you want to like sit over a pot of tea or a cup of tea and really just take your time and enjoy the moment. You only need 2 to 3 pearls added loosely to rolling boiling water. So loosely, what I meant by that is you don't need your muslin bag or your tea bag for these unless you want them. So we spoke about last month's turmeric chai and how important it is to use a tea tool, a bag, a strainer, something like that, because it's so powdery and sifted and kind of like a ground tea blend that you would want that. You would need it to get your correct steep. These, you can just have a rolling boil, and you want this to be a rolling boil, poured into your cup or your pot, and then just drop 2 or 3 in right into the bottom, and they'll sink to the bottom like a heavy little stone or marble. And like Denise just said when she was talking about getting the poster, she picked the little pearls or the pellets that are rolled because they will unfurl, which we learned earlier in the year is one of our fancy tea vocabulary words, which means to just open up and kind of rebloom. And you can watch them, and they'll stay at the bottom of your teacup, and they'll make a really pretty design. That's where your tea leaf reading comes in again if you want to be adventurous or imaginative and look for shapes or signs in your teacup. And you give it about a 3 to 4 minute steep, maybe even 5 if you want it a little bit stronger. It is a clear, translucent, light, fresh, flowery tea, so you should always be able to see the bottom of your cup through it, not like our turmeric chai or some of our black teas. And it's really nice without a sweetener or a cream. It's just kind of lovely all on its own, but if you want to enhance it or add a little bit, you can. But less is more with this one. She kind of just stands on her own. So again, jasmine pearls are different from jasmine green tea. They're a luxurious, exotic, high-end tea offering in the world of tea drinkers. The pearls are actually a green tea leaf from our Camellia sinensis, which is the plant that gives us all true teas. They've been hand-plucked and rolled with actual jasmine flowers in it, and then able to dry and cure. So again, it takes 10 pounds of one jasmine flower scent to flavor a single pound of our green tea. These are exotic ingredients, flowers, and places that we can't even imagine. So it's really pretty cool that here in northern Kentucky, the tri-state area in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, we can drop a few of these into our cup, and really it takes us a world away. So again, you'd only need 2 to 3 pearls added loosely, so that means you don't need a tea instrument if you don't want it, like a bag or a strainer, to a rolling boil water, steep 3 to 4 minutes, and you have a light, fresh, flowery flavor. So jasmine pearls are our Merry Christmas present to you. They're one of the most fanciest and expensive teas, and I just can't wait for you to try them and then fill your kitchen up with that smell of jasmine, especially in December when it's good and Christmas hecticness is kicking in, but we're all starting to get used to those really short days and really long nights, and we can cheat and pretend that there's a little glint of spring in the air when we make our tea. And this does have some caffeine in it, but it's a very low content, so you would drink it early to midday, but it wouldn't be something like a black tea that would keep you up like a cup of coffee or something like that. So in conclusion, 2023, the year of tea with the Lawrenceburg Public Library. We finished up with Jasmine Pearls, and I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday and an auspicious new year. Thanks so much.